This is Charlie Parsons for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. Got the trip again down to Matchroom HQ here, Brentwood, Essex, with Mr. Eddie Hearn, sporting a little Nike thing. Every time I see you, you're in the running gear.
Unfortunately, it's the same colour as the last interview, but that was the England drip, Parsons, wasn't it?
The England drip.
Yeah, this is just a little, tech fleece or whatever they're called. No, what is it?
That's not a tech fleece. That's
dry fit.
Yeah, we could go with a dry fit.
Yeah, obviously, unbelievable as well. Your chain, the terrible one that you picked up on a beach somewhere in Gran Canaria, has gone a different colour. It used to be gold.
No, it wasn't.
It's now.
It's never been gold. I swear on my life that it has never been gold.
Okay. And I had mentioned this to you off camera, and you said, it is real, it is real.
I think the people need to know that now. I had a guy message me 75 days in a row, messaging Parsons, asking, has he still got the pink stony on, and the Gucci chain on, and for a follow back, and by day 75 I had to cave.
It worries me about modern day society. I mean, it worries me about modern day society that anyone is sliding in your DMs. But for someone to slide in your DMs for 75 days on the spin, asking for a follow from Parsons. Also, Parsons, I've got to pull you up on something. Yesterday, on your story.
Oh, I just wanted to look bougie.
Business meetings in Soho. And then, spot a lunch at Sushi Samba.
That was nice.
Yeah, I mean, but you're living well beyond your means. I mean, I don't know what they're paying you at Boxing Social, but you must be on a lovely number. You
know what, Ed? I'm just making the most of this lifestyle because who knows how long it will last.
At what point, though, and this is a serious question, I know we have banter and everything, but at what point do you think you start to become unlikable by people, maybe a little bit envious, maybe think, actually, I used to like this kid, but he's actually turned quite flash and arrogant, and I'm not saying you have, but I do think that could be a
perception.
Like if I was just a fan, boxing fan, you would probably in the last couple of weeks just started getting on my tits. I think I would start thinking, actually not mad on this guy.
That's how the whole of boxing's been feeling about you for 10 years.
Very true. Ooh, Parsons. Laughing at your own jokes as well.
It was good banter.
Well,
You've laughed at your jokes.
Yeah, but this is what happened to me. When I started off with Coogan, they were going, oh, we love Eddie Hearn, he's great. What a bloke. Oh, I'd love to have a pint with him. Now it's like, what an absolute length. This is what will happen to you, Parsons. I hope you're ready for it. Because I did see you bite back to someone on Twitter.
Is that James Becker?
I don't know.
My biggest hater.
Is it?
I love it though. I don't love the hater, but I think it's like to reply to every single one of my tweets and be that concerned that I interviewed Anthony Joshua. No, but why would I give him the satisfaction?
No, but you have to think, people say you're giving someone satisfaction to block them. Don't go that deep, mate. Someone says something that's rude to you, that they wouldn't say to your face, and you can't get hold of them by the scruff of the neck, just delete, just block them. You don't need that in your life, Parsons. You're a 19-year-old boy. I can see you struggling with your confidence. You don't need haters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair play.
I did say something else to you. Oh, your belly. What are we going to do about that?
Well, actually, this is a good point because you did offer me a little gym sesh when we were in New York. This gym sesh never happened. Maybe, what's the PT's name again? Apologies if you're listening. Kai, yeah, man like Kai. We're in touch now.
Good.
I might have to come down with the two of you.
We'll arrange over the next couple of weeks. You can come down. You can do a gym session. All right. You can also use the gym here or the pool and the ice bath. Oh, we'll film you in the ice bath. Okay? Right. Done. But be careful with the belly. Yeah. Because what I see at 19, and you are probably, the good news is you've probably still got one growth spurt left.
Oh, I don't. I've not grown since I was 13.
No, that is a problem. You are about 5 foot.
5'7". 5'4".
No? 5'7".
That's really
5'7" with your New Balance on.
Yeah.
What are they?
Oh, so.
What? Are
So. No, these are the 2002. Hold up. Camera job. These
awful
basement. Oh, Ed, you don't know. New Balance collab with Basement 2002R.
Parsons, right? All I can say is that I imagine, like, an American, right, who goes to Harvard, who wears like jeans with a belt tucked into another denim shirt with a jumper around the thing. He would wear those New Balances, and he'd be like, "Hey, do you like my New Balance? They're what are they? They're Basement. What are they?
Yeah,
it's a
Basement
collab. It's a collab."
What are those?
Mate, these are.
They
Mate,
are the most vile.
what do you think about the socks? What do you think about the socks, though?
Oh yeah, what, the Cowboy?
Cowboy socks.
Cowboy socks. This is gone. This was 6 minutes in. Right.
Yeah,
Shall we talk some boxing now? Look, let's go straight into it. We've just seen, and I suppose I'll let you
You've had it off.
take. Yeah, I have had it off. I'll let you sort of take the reins on this a little bit. WBC have come out and cleared Conor Benn. The statement's a bit
Yeah, I mean, firstly, great that he's been cleared by them and returns to the rankings. I did get this, as you know, because you were in my office when this statement came through, literally 5 minutes ago, and I've just, as you know, because you heard it, voice noted our lawyer to say, what do you want us to say? And he said nothing until Conor's legal team have reviewed and decided what they want to do. Because obviously they have an opinion on this ruling that they might be happy with, they might not be happy with. So, fantastic. Back in the rankings, resumed a career. Now we have to look at the route forward, but I can't tell you too much at the moment until Conor and his legal team decide how they want to handle that statement and that ruling.
So I suppose probably the first thing to go into then is, now the WBC legal proceedings are settled, or at least they've come out now with the clearance, do you now go back to the British Boxing Board of Control?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, obviously, people also don't understand that the reason that Conor Benn didn't renew his licence is because they wanted to fine him for something that wasn't in relation to the tests. It was a misconduct charge. And he has to decide now whether he wants to fight under the British Boxing Board of Control or fight under another licence, fight internationally. I would like him to fight under the jurisdiction of the British Boxing Board of Control. There's a lot of ego involved now. I've seen a lot of people come out and do interviews after never doing interviews before in their life. So, can he get a fair crack at a whip? I don't know. I hope so, because I would like him to fight in this country. So, again, literally 5 minutes ago. But we can now start planning his next date.
I suppose I better, on that topic, Robert Smith and Simon Jordan done that interview, and it come out, one of the major things that people took out of it, that he won't be able to fight under another body in the UK, full stop. They will not allow that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, they do, and when I say it's the same as Tyson Fury, like, I'm not having a dig at Tyson Fury, but I'm just using it as an example. It's exactly what Tyson Fury did and does. So he doesn't have a British Boxing Board of Control licence, he has an international boxing licence, and every time he fights in England, he has to be cleared. Same as this would be. If Conor Benn went and got a licence with New York, Nevada, wherever, he would have an international licence that he would have to apply for permission to box in the UK. Yeah. And right now, because of everything that's gone on, subject to what they decide now about this ruling, they may say, no, we want to look into it further. They may say, we'll allow you to box, etc. But probably, because of all the ego back and forward, they would be difficult at the moment. But we should definitely open up that conversation now. Because, like I said, this is not about finding places where Conor Benn can box. Conor Benn can box anywhere in the world. But to box in the UK, he has to go through a process. We don't know how long that process is going to take. He's in the gym. He's been in the gym for the last 6 weeks. He's ready to fight.
In that case, then, I suppose, obviously, that's going to take some time to weigh out and sort of get what you need and find out how and if he can fight in British territories. Mm-hmm. Do you get him out? I think rumours talking online about Abu Dhabi, him maybe featuring there.
I mean, look, I want him to box in April, May, June at the very latest. And honestly, subject to the conversations with the British Boxing Board of Control, I'm not sure whether, to do that, we'd have to go on sale with a fight in March. And I don't know whether we would have a hearing in time, go through the information to get a decision by then. But I want to start that process. However, it's not my decision. This is a decision for Conor Benn, whether he wants to work with the British Boxing Board of Control. There's also a few legal cases that will be ensuing around this, and he's got to decide his position. But the positive news for him today is back in the rankings and clear to box in that respect. Where he gets his licence is now up to him. I will sit down with him and the team and say, do you want to be a part of the British Boxing Board of Control? He may say, fuck, he's not overly happy at the moment, but I don't care. I just want him to resume his career, but I do want him to box in this country. There's some massive fights for him. I believe he can be world champion. So we'll have to see. Very fresh, unlike your trainers.
And my trim at the minute.
What is it though?
It's not any, it's just grown out. I just get a skim fade and a forearm.
It's all the same length.
Yeah,
all over.
so I get a skim fade and then 3 on the top, but because my hair grows so fast...
Just all the same, really?
At the minute, yeah, so I'm getting a trim. I actually did try to get... My best mate's my barber, and I tried to get me, fit me in before I saw
Still your best mate?
Yeah.
After it, what happened?
What, the trim?
Yeah.
Well, it's just called growing. Like, people don't seem to understand that hair grows.
When I had a proper head of hair when I was young, like your age, I had a skinhead like that. I think I was about 14 or 15, and it was exactly the same. And everyone used to call me tennis ball head. And it does look a bit like a tennis ball.
Still a better hairline than you would ever have, Edward.
Ever had, but...
No, this is like the most exceptional hairline of all time.
I used to have an exceptional hairline. I know it is going backwards quickly, but it was like that.
Have you had the hair transplant yet?
Yeah. Do you want to go to...
I'm just sort of having a look now.
Bloody hell, you're making me a bit... The crafty combing's on point.
Okay, yeah, I get those comments. I suppose back to it.
What, not for you, about me?
About you, okay, yeah. Abu Dhabi then, you've come out and said...
Dhabi, yeah.
No, I'm supposed to Dhabi. You call it Derby
Abu
and that
Dhabi.
always spins me off.
Okay, Abu Dhabi, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Shout out Abu Dhabi. Bivol, Beterbiev, are you trying to make this happen for June?
Look, it's very likely that our show in Abu Dhabi will land on June the 3rd. Bivol Beterbiev is definitely a fight we are talking about for that.
For June the 3rd?
Yeah. Deontay Wilder against Andy Ruiz is another fight that we would love to host out there. There's some conversations going on there. There's Dimitri Bivol against Joshua Buatsi. There's Manny Pacquiao against Conor Benn, which was a fight that was pending the decision from the WBC. So that's one that could move forward as well. But we are deep in negotiations for a number of fights now, and there'll be an announcement on that date soon.
I suppose I'll pick back up on the Conor Benn thing before I suppose I'll go on to the other one. Sean Gibbons was in Nottingham last week, obviously Manny Pacquiao's advisor. Conversations between you and him. Obviously Pacquiao retired, but does it now look like the Conor Benn fight is a real possibility?
Yeah, we've been talking about the Conor Benn fight for a long time. But everybody wanted to make sure the WBC made their decision before they move forward with the fight. And that goes for Abu Dhabi, that goes for DAZN, goes for us, that goes for Manny Pacquiao. So now it's up to everybody that they're comfortable with that ruling. And we'll see if that fight happens. There's a long way to go for that fight to happen, but there has been conversations.
Do you have a front runner of an opponent for Conor next?
I mean, I would like to make...
a real one that you're in talks...
Manny Pacquiao, we're in talks with. Chris Eubank Jr. is a massive fight.
Are those talks still ongoing since the Smith loss?
Calla called me actually when he got the report. So, again, people know that opens the way now for Conor Benn to fight. So, Conor Benn against Chris Eubank is massive fight. Love him or hate him now, you're going to tune in to watch Conor Benn, and that's how it is.
I suppose a bit of an obvious question, and I imagine the answer will be quite obvious, but I've got to ask you, will Conor be vigorously drug tested as he used to be for his next fight?
I mean, absolutely. You know, that's the key now, is there's no one, you know, the majority of people still won't believe Conor Benn. They never will believe Conor Benn. It doesn't matter. Ultimately, he's cleared to fight and get on with it. I said to him the other day, Conor Benn wants to be appreciated, he wants to be loved. Maybe he won't be.
Does he mind playing the villain?
I don't think I think he'd rather not be the villain, but sometimes you've got to embrace the villain. Like me. So it's like, at the end of the day, Parsons, if you worry about what other people think, you really are going to lose your own direction. Because you know, like you say, these people having a go at you online. Fuck me. What are they doing? Not being funny. If you've got time to sit online all day and abuse Peter Parsons or whatever Charlie Parsons, what are you doing?
I'm fuming.
I mean, not being funny. If you sit there all day and abuse me online, you're a sad fucker. But all right. But if you genuinely take the time to tweet you abuse, you have to question your existence on this world, on this planet.
Yeah, fine. Yeah. What about in 5 years' time when I've surpassed your Instagram following and
How many Instagram followers have you got at the moment?
10, just over 10k, nearly 11k.
So you think in 5 years you will have more Instagram followers than me?
Well, this time last year I had 1,000 followers. So what's that? A 10 times growth. If I do 10 times again this year, that's 100k. Yeah. So
it's 100k a year. Or are you taking it on 10x from the new number?
Yeah, but the way social media flies. No, but like, what would you do if in 2 years' time I'm sitting here, not saying it will happen. Anyway, who gives a fuck about how many followers I've got?
You. Yeah. It's basically the only thing in your life that you care about. Yeah, go on, you. All I'm saying is there is a very, very quick way. You have to stay humble and don't get complacent. Because there's a very quick way
to fall off.
No, like your following could diminish or could stop any sign of growth through one thing, like that. Yeah. And it's just me saying I'm not doing any more interviews. Yeah. I mean, it would absolutely kill your career.
Yeah, to an extent.
I was actually being sarcastic, but thanks for agreeing.
Okay, well, this is like...
Anyway, next question.
Yeah, I don't even know where I'm at.
You're in my pocket.
Yeah, well, I already get that anyway. Apparently I'm being paid by you.
You're not, but you are in my pocket. Next question.
Okay, Bivol then, I suppose. If it's not Beterbiev, I suppose Abu Dhabi now is all a bit of a minefield because it could potentially be Conor Benn, Pacquiao. It could also potentially be Bivol, Buatsi. Could they both be on the same card?
No, we want to bring a massive fight to Abu Dhabi, and all of those fights are huge fights. I mean, you know, with Dimitri Bivol, when you talk about him right now, I say he hasn't got a difficult decision, but June the 3rd is a little bit early for Beterbiev because obviously it's off the back of Ramadan. The Canelo Alvarez fight is there for Bivol in September, you know, but Bivol also needs to fight because he's not waiting until September to fight. So then you bring in a Buatsi fight, for example. Then does Beterbiev fight Callum Smith and we do a double header. Beterbiev, Smith, Bivol, Buatsi. Great card for UK boxing.
On the same card? Yeah. Is that realistic?
Yeah, absolutely.
In Abu Dhabi?
Yeah. Abu Dhabi, yeah. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. But it's exciting.
That is exciting. Josh Buatsi, if it's not Bivol next, where does he go from here? I think a year out the ring is what I've recently seen.
I think the Anthony Yarde fight's the fight.
Is that possible? I know your relationship with George Warren is good.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's been mentioned between myself and George in the past. We'll see what happens, but I just feel like Anthony Yarde, off the back of his last fight, there's no World Championship fights for him at the moment. He's going to want the biggest fight out there and the fight that pays him the most amount of money. And that is Joshua Buatsi. And outside of a World Championship fight, that's also the same goes for Joshua Buatsi. Two Londoners, two great light heavyweights. It's a tremendous fight. So yeah, we will look at that and see where it goes.
Okay, moving on. This weekend, I'm very excited, and I think if anyone tries to if anyone tries to put shame on it, then you're wrong because everyone's intrigued, and you're lying if you're saying you ain't watching. Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. I genuinely can't pick a winner. Not that I would publicly anyway, but I find it intriguing. Tommy's on the big stage. There is so much pressure on him. He's never main evented, let alone main evented a global pay-per-view of this stature. But Fighting Family does technically have more years of experience than Jake Paul, but then there's the argument, well, has Jake Paul done more in the last 4 years than Tommy? Get what I'm... Yeah. How do you like... I'm just interested.
Firstly, I'm going to do everybody a favour. Well, I'm going to do the show a favour and make sure everyone knows it's on Sunday. because I only found out today that it's on Sunday. I thought it was on Saturday, which I actually think is a big mistake. Anyway, next part.
We're having a watch party in Cirencester on Sunday if you want to come down.
I'd love to, mate. Yeah, definitely love to make the trip down to Cirencester on a Sunday to watch Jake Paul, Tommy Fury with you and your pals. That would be amazing.
And me old dear.
Oh, and your old dear, Mrs. Parsons. What's your mum's name? I don't know if you want to put that out on social. No? Okay, good idea. So, this is what I'm saying. I have had a total U-turn on this fight, right? I thought Jake Paul was going to win this fight. I think Jake Paul has absolutely no chance to win this fight at all. I'm sick and tired of actually just not thinking logically about, like, this was the same for Liam Smith against Chris Eubank. People are asking me, I was like, Liam should win, and then the fight unfolds and I'm like, Eubank was never going to beat Liam Smith.
Wow.
It's just because he has good fundamentals. He has a good jab. He has good footwork. He throws, anyway. So I look at this now and I go, if Tommy Fury comes out aggressively and puts it on Jake Paul, this fight will not go 2 rounds. This is a massive U-turn for me because both are limited. But Tommy Fury, as limited as he is as a professional boxer, has been boxing for, 10, 12 years, maybe more. He has been in the ring against professional fighters. He has experienced that. He's done the hard spars. He's an outsider in this fight. He's going to win this fight by stoppage. That's
interesting. So I put out a tweet and I said, I can't pick a winner. No, because I like to be a bit more of a conversationalist sometimes than interviewer, right? If you can get Tommy as wide as 2-1, and you are genuinely confident he does the job, that's why would you not? Yeah.
As was Liam Smith to beat Chris Eubank, huge price. So obviously anything can happen, but with our partners at Betfred, gamble responsibly, and I think that's massive value for Tommy Fury. I've just changed my mind completely. I've just thought about it and just thought, no. Tommy Fury knows how to punch correctly. He knows how to fight. But if he fucks around and I shouldn't have said that word. If he dithers around and just boxes with him, to be fair, anything could happen. But if he sticks it on him, he will stop him inside 2 rounds. He should come out like a train and he will knock him out.
Do you think the magnitude of the event is too much for him? Because this is Jake's forte, he's lovely.
Yeah, but you have to remember, it's out in Saudi Arabia, yeah? I know there's a lot of noise online and stuff like that, but it's not like you're at the O2 or at Wembley Stadium or...
Not the same, but
no, but I don't think... No.
Look,
he's got his brother around him, he's got his dad, they've been around boxing for many years. At the end of the day, however good Tommy Fury is, it's a fight. And he's been there before. He's been in, he hasn't boxed anyone better as a pro than Jake Paul, which is quite embarrassing. But he has sparred better and probably fought better opponents in the amateurs than Jake Paul. Come on.
Is Anderson Silva a better win than any name on Tommy's resume? Because obviously Anderson Silva at the time was coming off a win against Chavez Jr. and I get...
Yeah, Tommy's resume is awful. Awful. So bad. What is Tommy's record?
8.
Okay. Probably the worst 8-0 resume I've ever seen.
That bad.
Terrible. But by the way, he's won every fight easy, so it's not like he struggled against anyone. But genuinely, probably not you, but the level of opposition, I was going to say you could beat him, but they're honestly so bad. Jake Paul has a better resume, boxing resume, than Tommy Fury, which is disgusting. But I just feel like Tommy Fury, if Tommy Fury lets his hands go and goes in there and just boxes neat and smart, he'll stop him.
1995 is the BT pay-per-view price. Obviously, it is on a Sunday. Obviously, Saudi Arabia are also 4 hours ahead, so it shouldn't be too late of a main event. Maybe sort of school kids will be able to fit it in before bedtimes.
That's a mistake on a Sunday night. I think there'll be a lot of kids that'll be looking to watch this fight, and I think it's 9 o'clock, is it, or something like that? Yeah, it's not late, but I just feel like Saturday. This fight actually, although it appeals to that younger market, I feel like even fight fans are relatively interested in it, and that's why I feel like Sunday's a mistake. I'm not sure why they went on Sunday, but anyway, I think it will still do like fairly decent numbers.
Okay, Saturday's fight, Floyd Mayweather fights Lara-Chalmers. So, yeah, that's sort of first thing I want to ask you is £32 pay-per-view. Right. How many pay-per-view buys does it do?
Where is it on? 30 what?
£32 something.
Somewhere between 2,000 and 4,000, something like that, if that.
And then just your thoughts on it. I think the the lowest ticket selling fight at the O2.
Ever?
Yeah, I believe so.
We've had some bad ones, but I've seen a map. Someone posted a map yesterday. I mean, I don't know anyone that even knows Floyd Mayweather is fighting on Saturday. Who is putting the money up for these events? And actually, to be honest with you, I don't know Lara-Chalmers, but he's, he has got ability, and he does train with. I think he trains with Adam Buford in that gym, and it seems like a nice guy. That should actually be quite a big event. I think that the Mayweather fights are so fucking naff, to be honest with you. But I don't actually mind. At least Lara-Chalmers will go out and he can box and he'll have a go and whatever. But literally no one knows that is even happening. Someone has hired out the O2 Arena thinking they're going to sell out the O2 Arena with Floyd Mayweather and they are going to do a couple of 100,000 buys on pay-per-view. It's either going to get cancelled before Saturday, or someone is going to do their absolute conkers, or people are not going to get paid. One of the three.
I think obviously Floyd's doing this and it's a fairly regular thing, maybe one of the reasons why people switch off a little bit if we ignore, the ticket prices and the pay-per-view, etc. At least with the undercard in Dubai when Floyd fought Deji, obviously you bring in that Misfits audience with Tommy Fury as the co-main event. You've got names to sell it with.
Yeah, I mean, look, honestly, mate, I don't knock anyone for having a go, but just weird. Okay. Very strange.
Right. I'm gonna picking this back up, and before people comment saying, "Oh, you've cut something out," no, my camera allows to.
No, you asked me a question, and I slated someone, and you went, "I'm gonna have to take that out," and then stop the recording.
My camera only allows 30 minutes of filming at a time.
Why?
I don't know. Ask Canon, Eddie. Anyway, we've got time, so let's Okay, don't tell. Wood-Lara.
Yes.
Incredible night. First things first. Ben Davison. I just said it in the office to the guys. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, and I think it's easy to say, there was only 10 seconds left, of which there was 9 seconds, something like that. Do you know how many punches Maurizio Lara can throw in 9 seconds? And actually, he weren't even in the neutral corner. When the ref turned around and started the fight, he was there. He should have been over there, but anyway, it's another story. At the end of the day, Lee Wood may have got through that round. May have. I don't think he would have recovered to win the fight, but may have. He also may have taken a clean right hand left hook and left the ring on a stretcher and ended up in hospital with his career over. So you have to leave the decisions in that instance to the guy that knows him best, and that is the trainer. It's no point you have an opinion. I mean, we're allowed to have opinions, of course, we're fans. But reality, no one is better placed to make the decision than Ben.
Have you had any chat with Lee, his team, Ben? I saw a little clip, we've got the rematch clause, we go again. Do you now expect that to be the next fight for Lee?
Lee will be in on Monday, he's coming in with Ben, and we'll talk through it. I mean, it's going to be a fairly quick turnaround for him for the rematch, but he can have a little rest and look at that. Like I said, there is also the option to allow Lara to have another fight, but you're contractually signed to fight the winner. And he may like that because it will give him more time to recover, or he might say, no, I want to go straight back in. So whatever he wants to do, we're behind. I feel like he's in a great, I know he got beat by stoppage, but I thought he boxed great. I think his stock's gone up again. And I think Leigh Wood's in a great position with still big fights ahead.
Let's say he does go straight back in. Does that go City ground?
Could do. Again, it's all about timings. They're going to want that in May, probably. It's a very fast turnaround after a fight like that,
Is that realistic, mate?
Again, if you listen to what I just said,
How do you even... You say they want it, May?
No, Forest. You'll only get so many dates to be able to do it. So we'll have to look at that. But, or we could go... you could let him fight in May and then do the next one in September. I don't know, in the international break or something. I don't know. But, Leigh's obviously, going to look at the options with Benn and decide what he wants to do.
On the Warrington front, first things first, Lara's received a lot of backlash for spitting at him. Just your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I don't like spitting, really. It's the one thing that... There's a couple of things that annoy me. When you let someone through when you're driving and they don't say thank you, I hate that. Also, when someone starts telling you about your driving,
backseat drivers.
No, but in another car. So you might be driving along and I don't know, say you just swerved for something and they didn't see what you're and it's like, hi mate, who are you? Oh, Bill or something, go away. I hate that as well. I don't know where we're getting to now. Spitting, not a fan.
Have you said anything to Mauricio? Because afterwards he was quite proud of his spit.
To be honest, I'm proud of his spit.
No, he was proud of it.
I didn't know he spat at him until I saw the footage and saw those interviews. I mean, I think if I said to Maurizio Lara, mate, I'm not very pleasantly happy about your spitting at Josh Warrington, he'd think, fuck off, you tosspot. Because he's a bad man. I mean, that's the reality. He's a handful. Comes from a rough neighbourhood. He's a bad motherfucker. And unfortunately, he's going to behave in ways at times, probably, where normal people wouldn't. Yeah. He's a fighter. He's just won the world title. He has a lot of emotion towards Josh Warrington. He hates him for some reason. Warrington hates him. So, yeah, but I certainly don't condone ever spitting at anybody, regardless of what you're about to do, what you've done, what's happened in the past. I'm not a fan.
Okay. If Leigh Wood does decide that Lara can have a fight in between, and then look, maybe you go September, like you said, do you look at Ellen Road for the Josh Warrington fight?
Possibly, or Headingley, yeah, possibly. Again, subject to dates, but until we've spoken to Leigh, and it would have to be attractive to Leigh to do that. Yeah. So we'll see.
Sonny Edwards, saw him at the show with you on Saturday. I think he'd done a little bit in the IFL interview. Is he going to get a big fight? He's saying Superfly or Fly?
The thing is I seem like it's almost like, come on, Eddie, get him a big fight. I mean, I'm not being funny. I don't promote Sonny Edwards. I'm not saying that I don't want to make a unification, but it's not my job to get Sonny Edwards a big fight. It's his team's job. It's always like, come on, Eddie, give him a fight, pay the money, well, do this. It's like, what about fucking they pay the money? What about they make us an offer for the unification? So, and I like Sonny, I think he's a great fighter, and he maybe beats everyone in the division. But the reality is there are reasons why we couldn't make that fight with Julio Cesar Martinez. We can make that fight moving forward this year. He has to still fight Arroyo, which is probably going to be on the Canelo card. And Bam Rodriguez 100% wants and will fight Sonny Edwards. But it will be, and this is not a reason not to make a fight. So I won't say it will be on our terms, but we are going to be the ones paying for it. Right? But it can't just be, come on, Eddie, give Sonny a fight. It's like, I've got 110 fighters to give fights to. And all of them are a priority over Sonny Edwards. Not because I don't like him and not because he's not a great fighter. He ain't with us.
Have you explored working with Sonny Edwards from a promotional?
He's under contract, I believe. I would definitely work with Sonny Edwards, and I would definitely bring him to the team. He's a very good fighter. He'd be a great addition to the stable, but he's under contract with someone else who has an obligation to put him in big fights, not match him. He will be an opponent on our shows, but a very good one.
I just want to go back to two very quickly on Jake Paul this week. Just your thoughts on the Froch beef, and then on that topic, Derek Chisora saying he would gamble 200,000 British pounds on Jake Paul knocking out Paul Froch.
Yeah, I mean, look, Froch hasn't boxed for 10 years, 8, 9 years, but he's still a right handful. I mean, he would be very rusty against Jake Paul, but he would get hold of him and absolutely decimate him. But it's good for Froch, like good bit of exposure for Cole. It's like back in the limelight. He's dying to fight Cole, really. It's like the bottom line. And
would you promote that?
I don't mind. Like I'm like, you may run this back one day, but I am not going to promote YouTube boxing.
Does Jake Paul count?
No, not a YouTube boxer.
Tommy Fury?
No, not a YouTube boxer.
Influencer boxer?
No, not
KSI?
Very, no, going back to them two, not very good, but not KSI, YouTube boxer, right now. But by the way, KSI is improving. He's in great shape. Like I'm not, and there's no disrespect to him, but it's just not. It's not for me. But I would promote Jake Paul. Jake Paul's a boxer, and if he beats Tommy Fury, he's 100% a boxer.
And just quickly, how many buys does it do? It's at 19.95 BT pay-per-view Sunday night.
Between 200,000 and 300,000.
Is that successful on a Sunday?
Absolutely.
Okay. Just looking at Whyte, next fight for him, is he sort of waiting on AJ for the summer perhaps, or will he have an interim in between?
See what happens with Wilder and Ruiz. Still love to make Wilder against Whyte. AJ against Dillian Whyte. Yeah, all of those in play. But obviously, he'd like to have an interim fight, but we have to see what happens.
Is Dillian with you at the minute?
We've not had a contract for Dillian his whole career, actually. So obviously we lost a purse bid and he came back to us, and we'd love to keep working with him.
How is that relationship at the minute?
You know, I think the Daniel Dubois fight is a fight that could get offered to him, and I think if the money was right, he'd take that fight. But we get on very well. We've always done great business, but it's got to work for both of us. And if it does, I'm sure we'll work together again.
Obviously, you've mentioned Wilder-Ruiz, potentially Abu Dhabi or wherever. What talks are you having at the minute, and what are the genuine possibilities? And do you genuinely believe from talks that you've had at the minute and how they're ongoing that we could see yourself and Wilder working together?
Yeah, I mean, we're in talks to try and make that fight. And we'd love to make it. Feel like we've got a great opportunity for both guys, both two tremendous heavyweights. I think it's a brilliant fight. But we'll have to see.
Is that realistic, landing on a Matchroom show? From conversations you've had, obviously 2 PBC fighters.
I wouldn't be wasting my time if I didn't think it was possible.
I've got to ask the questions, all right?
As long as they're not like clearly we're in negotiations to try and make that fight. Do you think it's possible? I mean, obviously. I wouldn't be fucking doing it otherwise, would I? No, I don't think it's possible. We're just all wasting our time trying to make a fight.
Okay. Is it just the Ruiz fight that you're trying to work with him, or do you try and...
Anthony Joshua, Dillian Whyte, Francis Ngannou, I mean, you know, but clearly Deontay Wilder wants to take control and make his own moves.
Okay, let's just rattle through the rest here. Dalton Smith, rumoured to fight Sam Maxwell next. Will that land April 29?
That fight is done and signed. Dalton picked up a little cut. That fight is 10 weeks away. We'd like him to be ready, but he'll talk to his team. Obviously, the problem is you know, you have shows now, April, May, June, and if you miss your slot for a fight like that, you're back end of the summer. So if he can fight, fantastic. But obviously he's got to feel that he's ready to fight, and we'll wait on his decision this week.
April 29, a potential clash with Fury Usyk anyway. We don't even have that fight announced, so I suppose that's not something you're worried about. But if it does end up as a clash with Fury Usyk, do you have...
Yeah, if Usyk Fury got made for April 29th, we would obviously move our show.
Oh, you would, definitely.
But at the same time, that's not announced yet, and nor is his house, actually. but we'll see what happens.
What are your thoughts on the whole Fury Usyk stuff? We obviously saw Alex Krasuk with Frank and George at the Emirates, and talks are ongoing. They feel like they've been ongoing for a little while now. Are we still as confident as we first once were that this fight happened?
I have no idea. I mean, as I understand it, they are looking at Wembley because they couldn't get the money from the Middle East. Be great if it happened at Wembley. I would be very surprised because they'll be taking small money for the fight in consideration to what they could make or what they wanted to make. But at the end of the day as well, they've got to fight. Like, if the money's not there, it's not there. So what else are you going to do? So yeah, we'll see.
Liverpool, Callum Smith, expected to win, in all honesty. Yeah. But plans after the fight, is it just getting that Beterbiev shot?
Yeah, straight away. Callum come through, step in. He was a good fighter, looked good, and straight into the Beterbiev fight for the summer. You know, whether that's in Liverpool, whether that's in America, Montreal, we'll negotiate with Top Rank, and it's a tremendous fight. But hopefully, all being well, March the 11th in Liverpool, and a shot at Beterbiev, which would be fantastic.
The return of the Bosch Army General, Johnny Fisher, on that card. Excited?
Yeah, I mean, he's already done huge tickets. That show's selling really well. You've got big ticket sellers on there. And good to see Johnny back. And hopefully, all being well, come through there, and then we'll probably headline his own next gen at the end of May.
Is that Romford by any chance?
No. I mean, there's no stadium in Romford unless we did something.
It's a dog track, right?
I mean, I don't know. It'd be pretty wild.
It would.
I've thought
It would be a naughty week.
Cost-wise, like, bless Romford dog track, but in terms of facilities,
It's not that.
nah. It's not MSG.
Why does that not really surprise me?
Something
Canelo.
like the track at Cirencester.
What track?
Is there a dog track in
Of
Cirencester?
course, there's not a dog track in Cirencester. No, of course, there's not a horse track in Cirencester. In Cirencester, there's like polo playing fields and that.
There's like polo playing fields and that.
Yeah, cosy.
Cirencester.
This is going to do so well on TikTok. People absolutely love Eddie talking about Siren on TikTok like it's a joke. There's the Swindon Greyhound,
which is clearly
a pub, Boozer.
Road. Been down there, haven't you, Parsons?
The Greyhound. Don't know if I've been for a pint in there.
There's no dog track, but
Trust me, Eddie, Cirencester's not very big, I would know. We've got Riva nightclub though, mate.
I'd love to go to Riva.
Fucking so bad. Sorry, Riva. God. Can I get sued for that?
I didn't realise how close. Few upcoming races for Cirencester.
There's no races in Cirencester. But that's...
Oh no, that's a horse called Cirencester. Okay. Best things to do in Cirencester. Right, it's absolutely mental. You can go to the Corinium Museum, Cirencester Park, Abbey Grounds Park, St John Baptist Church. Oh, to be fair, the Cirencester open air swimming pool looks unbelievable.
Oh, I thought that as well. So I thought that.
You've been down there?
No, I was going to go down there and everyone advised me not to.
I didn't realise how close you were to the Cotswolds.
That's the capital of the Cotswolds.
Is it?
Come on, we're bougie out here.
What a twat. Come on, we're bougie. What is bougie about the Cotswolds? Cotswolds is unreal, don't it?
Which is bougie.
What is bougie, though?
Like posh, fancy, like... Cool.
I'm going to sneeze.
Bless you. Few more. On the Cirencester topic, though, we have mentioned this before. We want to get you down there because I swear to God it would be like fucking scenes on toast for a start.
I didn't know. It's a bit embarrassing I didn't know it was in the Cotswolds because I have been to the Cotswolds and it is lovely.
Lovely.
Bougie.
If we don't do Christmas lights in Siren, Hearn and Parsons are turning on Christmas lights in Siren, can we get you down for one pint of Moretti in the Crown?
Yeah, but Moretti's like...
Okay, not a Moretti.
I like a Moretti. I do like a Moretti, but what can we do in Cirencester? I feel like we've got to do something. You know, like when a league of their own do their road trips, like
Tony Bellew went to Cirencester to go on. They've got this wing walking thing. My missus did it as well, and Tony did that in Ciren. Parsons and Eddie wing walk.
No, I'm not doing that
for charity.
No.
We could generate a lot of money for charity, of course.
Well, we'll have a think.
Okay.
Can we wrap this up now? It's getting boring.
Yeah, I've got a few more on Canelo. Canelo Ryder, Wood-Lara. Is it signed?
No, but potentially imminent. I mean, obviously, Sal's made his announcement that he will fight in Mexico, and we are. It's John Ryder is the guy that everyone would like to make happen, and we're just going through that process. And I think, hopefully, we can get that over the line in the next 24, 48 hours.
Will Edgar Berlanga be on the undercard?
No, Edgar Berlanga will fight in June.
Headline?
Yes.
Any sort of opponent idea, roughly?
Not yet.
Okay, finally from me, you went to the Black Forge Inn with Frank Smith. Did you go on a private jet?
Yes. Where are you going with this?
Just wanted to ask. Yeah, cool. Can I go on a private jet one day?
Yeah, if you want.
Sick. I've actually been on one. Doesn't matter right now. Were your talks good?
Yeah, they were. I mean, I sound like a bit of a fanboy when I say I was a bit in awe of Conor McGregor. I mean, like, he's a massive star. I mean, I saw you interviewing AJ. It was quite embarrassing.
Embarrassing?
Yeah, but like...
Am I not allowed to be thankful for...
Anthony, can I just say that... You must have had it off your mates as well.
No, I haven't. They're gassed.
Can I just say, Anthony, I used to watch you in the £40 seats. I used to buy all your pay-per-views. I'd buy the pay-per-view and I'd attend. And it's all down to you, Anthony. Oh. That was like...
Okay, but the point that you make, right, just before we go back to Conor McGregor, yeah, but you're not that in awe because you've been doing this for 10 years. I'm a 19-year-old kid who's new in the game. My point is, right, I grew up watching AJ. Yeah. One of the reasons I love boxing. Always wanted to sit down and do an interview with AJ. That was a box tick for me.
When you did it?
No, I wanted him to come away from the interview. He's done so many media rounds, right? And think, you know what, like that kid.
I think it worked well. I think he likes you, and that's why I gave you his time. Anyway, Conor McGregor, just what a character. I mean, imagine a Conor McGregor press conference. Yeah, it was like that. I mean, just so much energy, so much passion, just wild. And he's got a passion for Katie Taylor, for Irish sport. He'd like to help where he can. Whether that's going to be May or whether that's going to be September, we shall see.
What is the situation on Taylor Serrano 2, venue-wise?
At the moment, most likely 3 Arena, but there'll be an announcement, not this week, but next week, regarding everything for May 20.
Cheers, Ed.